Less than 500 people in America knew in 1941 that the Germans were 3 to 5 years ahead of us with their research on atomic weaponry. And it wasn't until February of 1945 that we finally got a clean evaluation that they had fallen behind us. Why such an aggressive push on Germany rather than Japan was in part the fear that the Germans were going to get the bomb first, made it to an upgraded V2, and take out New York and Washington. And they could have done it. But should we take Adolf Hitler as a real threat? Yeah. It was a glorious day when they put that SOB in the pit and poured gasoline on it. I think we should take Iran and North Korea as a very real threat. When somebody is announcing laughingly every other day that they're going to bathe my children, my child, in nuclear death and fire, I take that real seriously. I don't know what the hell is wrong with us, that we don't respond back. I'm getting angry. I'm getting really angry as I think about this. I mean, if I'm coming home every day and my neighbor's doing target practice and I look over the fence and he's shooting at a picture of my face and screaming obscenities at it, I'm going to take it very seriously. Yeah, the question was if Iran and North Korea had the capability, why have they not already done it? I cannot get inside the head of a psychotic to answer that question sufficiently. Hitler talked about the Madagascar plan for several years, which is simply we're going to take all the Jews and move them to Madagascar. It wasn't until the war started that a final solution actually began. So it took time for it to evolve out. It's going to have to be a confluence of several different things that's going to push them over the edge. Now, in January, I was interviewed on Israeli national radio. And I called a Navy friend type and said, look, I'm going to be on in a little while. Do you have any advice of what I should or should not say? And he said, you're going to be on what? And I told him, he said, my God, Bill, the Iranians will be listening to you. And they might take it as a signal given who you are known to have worked with nuke. Even though nuke obviously had not won. I made it a point about every 10 to 15 minutes in the interview to give a disclaimer. I'm speaking as an American citizen. I have no political connections or anything like that. But my friend said, God, Bill, you don't want to say the wrong thing, and about 2 hours later the crap hits the fan. What sets off a psychotic? I think the number one threat out of North Korea is that there's a power struggle, and what's the age-old formula for stopping a power struggle? You get into a war outside to get people behind you. So I think that little dweeb, that's when he would do it. The Iranians, I don't know, I guess they're waiting for the guy to come up out of the well. What is our government doing or not doing to prevent an EMP? I did take one little hard point that apparently there's a project, excuse me, by the way, to establish at least 500 to 700 commercial radio stations with EMP, supposedly EMP-proofed equipment that could survive an EMP event and keep on broadcasting. That to me is a crucial first step because that's the communications grid. Regarding the power distribution system, I don't see a bloody thing going on. Remember, it's all private enterprise yet. Regarding the military, of course, they do not discuss that with me. The problem with trying to anticipate EMP is, well, what's the overload level? If we get a lay down at this level, then we harden to this level. But then suppose they enhance the capability of the weapon to do a lay down to this level. A simple analogy might be tanks. You know, those first tanks came out and the armor was that thick. And somebody figured, well, if we get a 37mm gun, we can punch through. So what's the answer? Put this much armor on the tank. Well, now we need a 50mm gun. By the end of World War II, they were up to 122mm with armor this thick. So the issue of EMP is constantly a balance, counterbalance between what's the potential lay down how much do we harden to protect? But regarding the civilian power grid, I see precious little of nothing going on.
Wouldn't it be safer to have a decentralized grid though versus, I mean, our...
Oh, the smart grid idea scares the hell out of me.
Is that not true?
No. But our power grid is essentially broken into three primary segments, if I'm getting my memory correct on this. We've become a very, very sophisticated system. The power lighting these right now might be coming from Niagara Falls. Our grid has been interconnected across the years. Does that make us more vulnerable in certain ways? Well, some people say yes. Up in these mountains 100 years ago, every town basically had its own small little community co-op or power grid coming off of a mountain stream and a dam. And then it all started getting consolidated together. It's very alarming. Sir?
Once a section of the grid goes down, we don't even really know how to bring it back up, and there are difficulties in bringing it back up because of oscillations within the system.
Yes.
Adding to that, could you comment on the status of nuclear plants which require grid up to start up and grid up to shut down?
Well, you asked me a question. I'm going to lay awake tonight. Every time the wind blows from the east-southeast, I know I'm downwind from the Charlotte plants. The gentleman raises an interesting point, that if part of the grid goes down, even getting that up is difficult because of oscillations in the system. For example, the famous power shutdown of 1967 in New York started a cascading effect where suddenly they're trying to feed power back through different systems and they're overloading and blowing more out at the same time until finally the whole thing went off. A new power plant needs a hell of a lot of power going into it to bring it up to speed to start pumping power back out.